All right, good morning, everyone. In the early hours of November 1st, 8 people were senselessly shot while out celebrating Halloween when a 17-year-old, Jalen Dwayne Egger, brazenly opened fire in a large group in the middle of the street in downtown Orlando. 2 men died, 6 were shot, and 1 woman was trampled and injured while running for safety. Today, I have decided to charge Jalen Egger as an adult in this mass shooting. He is currently facing 2 charges, second-degree murder with a firearm, in the information that was filed this morning. Additional charges will be forthcoming in the near future. Charges of first-degree murder must come from a grand jury indictment, and we will present this case to the grand jury the next time they convene. This decision was not made lightly, and only after reviewing all the available evidence. This decision is based on several aggravating factors, including the brazen nature of the crime and the multiple victims who were shot in the middle of the street in downtown without simply celebrating Halloween. I have personally reviewed and looked at all the records and videos in this case, and there's no question that this individual should be charged as an adult. Orlando Police Department estimated nearly 75,000 people were downtown on the night of the shooting. That's 75,000 people running for their lives that night. To shoot into a massive crowd like that shows a truly disregard for life. And the only recourse is to charge this defendant as an adult because it fits the egregious nature of the crime. The defendant's prior history consists of 1 grand theft motor vehicle charge, which is a 3rd-degree felony. By law, since that charge is still open, that case also will now be filed in the adult circuit court and will work its way through the judicial process the same way the mass shooting will. What's particularly concerning about these new charges is how someone felt embodied to shoot people at point-blank range in public, and underscores a critical issue that goes beyond the specific facts of this case, and is a broader issue that is keeping guns and access to them out of the hands of people who shouldn't have them, especially our youth. We can pass all the laws we want, and they can do some help, and they can do some good. But it's up to the people in this community to report it to law enforcement when they know that someone has a gun when they shouldn't. Even though many law enforcement, even though many in law enforcement like myself disagreed with the change in the concealed weapons law, it is still illegal for a 17-year-old to possess a handgun. The law still prohibits anyone under the age of 21 from possessing a concealed firearm. In our community, we need to end the cone of silence that protects those who pose a threat. We see these juveniles on social media with these firearms. I hear from the community when I'm out and about that they know that these different people and individuals have these illegal street guns. We always say, see something, say something, but it's time to do something now. This is not just a law enforcement issue. It is a community effort. We must work together with our neighbor to make our neighborhood safer. I don't know if the outcome would be different if somebody had reported the defendant had a gun, and that report had actually made it to law enforcement. But if they did have that information and they did have that reported to them, there was always a chance that this mass shooting could have been prevented. Now 8 lives have been forever changed by this tragedy, including 2 men who will never see another birthday. The lives of their loved ones and the entire Orlando community will be forever marked by this senseless act of gun violence. The city of Orlando has already been working on intervention programs to address gun violence. Community Violence Intervention and Prevention, also known as CVI, is a program to reduce homicides in Orlando as well as prevent instances of gun violence, especially among the participants of the program. By working with national experts and using strategies, they have been able to reduce gun violence in other locations and in the city of Orlando. I've been a supporter of these types of interventions, and I plan to play a more active role in implementing them in a circuit-wide initiative. What we continually see with juveniles who end up in the criminal justice system is a lack of education, and it's a significant factor that leads them down the wrong path. That is why I say education is prevention, and it's one of the reasons why we started the Turning Pages Literacy Program here at our office. If we can reach at-risk juveniles when they are young and get them into intervention services early, we can help prevent future criminal behavior and show them a more productive path in life. My office will continue to fight for the 2 homicide survivor families and the other victims in this case, and do our best to ensure that the person responsible for this action is held accountable. We will continue to work with the Orlando Police Department to build our case, and the defendant will proceed through the normal judicial process. The Orlando Police Department has already called for the public to submit evidence, videos, or pictures from the night of the incident that will assist in the investigation. They're also looking for people to call the non-emergency number at 321-235-5300 if they have any other information. If you are suffering from trauma related to this tragedy, please reach out to the Victim Service Center of Central Florida. Their phone number is 407-500-HEAL. That's 4925. Now I'll take any on-topic questions.
Can you tell us anything about a possible motive in this case?
It's open and active, so we're not releasing a lot of that information right now.
Can you clarify if officers recovered the gun used in the shooting?
I can clarify that they did recover the gun, the firearm.
Can you clarify if he was in fact targeting someone and if one of the victims was the intended target?
That's going to the open active part of the case that we're still working on.
Is he being cooperative, answering questions at all?
I can tell you that he did give an interview, so that is something that's still, but the substance of that interview is still part of our open active investigation.
Will your office seek pretrial detention to keep him locked up until trial?
We will seek pretrial detention against him. I think that the charges he's facing qualify him for Arthur hearing, so we don't need a pretrial detention statute. So we will proceed under that because the video is clear that he shot somebody in the eye, point blank range.
In terms of how he got the gun, have local, state, or federal ATF been determined where this firearm came from, sir?
We're still working on that's open active part of the case we're still working on.
Were there any signs or reports that he had a gun before this shooting that were overlooked or missed?
Not we're aware of right now, but the investigation is still unfolding. So I'm looking for somebody that if they know he had that gun, please step forward, let us know so we can find the person who gave him that gun.
And did he have any known gang ties?
Still part of our open active investigation right now.
What kind of message do you hope it sends to the community that he's being charged as an adult?
We're taking this serious. When I was up, with you all, some of you at 2:30 in the morning, we're out there on the streets downtown. We're taking this very serious when these kind of incidents happen in our community, and we're not going to stand for the violence.
I know the city has put some measures in place following the shooting, the curfew, the limiting alcohol sales. From your perspective in curtailing activity like this, any recommendations, things that you would like to see? I know you mentioned see something, say something, but in trying to stop and prevent something like this from happening again.
Yeah, there's still other things that we could consider, but that's for the city of Orlando, age restrictions, all those kind of things like that would help us narrow down the type of people that we have coming in. But I think Chief Smith and his team did a great job preventing further loss of life, because when I got the call, I thought it was going to be much worse when I got down there, and so they were able to shut it down relatively quickly.
You mentioned you've been watching the video. We, of course, have seen what the police department has released to us so
Yeah.
far. Can you just give us your thoughts when you see that? And we know it's a 17-year-old, you say, who did this.
It's a blatant execution in the middle of our streets, and so that's something that we can't have in our community.
Can you give us any more insight into his previous case? We know it was open, but what were the circumstances? A question we get a lot is,
Correct.
well, if he had committed a crime before, what was he doing out?
Yeah, so this is a juvenile, so in a juvenile case, when they're arrested for pretty much any non-violent offense, they're going to be almost straight released back to their parents, especially if it's their first offense. And so that's exactly what occurred during this case. And then when we get with the facts of the case become known to you, exactly, I told you that his case will be filed as an adult, so those arrest reports and things like that will be available to you at that point.
The city has been blaming Florida's permitless carry law for pulling back on certain security measures downtown. What's your assessment of that?
I think that it does play a factor. Anytime that we lose a tool to hold people that shouldn't have firearms accountable, is going to cause some ripple effects. And so we need to understand this is where we are right now and do the best we can to make sure that we're going to be able to keep our community safe, especially our downtown goers on the weekends and during the week.
Do you believe red flag laws should be applied to minors?
Absolutely.
Can you talk to us about your decision to wear body armor and a gun to the press conference at the police department? Where did you just come from the scene? Some are questioning that.
Yeah, I woken up around 2:15. They got told we were having a mass shooting downtown. I geared up. We have a kind of rapid response type thing going on. When I got there, it was told to me that he was not alone when he showed up downtown. So they only had him in custody. And so when you all came in, I was there to we're reviewing videos with Chief and making sure what was going on. So.
And that fact that he was not alone, have police managed to track down the people that he was with at the time? What can you tell us about that?
I think they're still looking for him, so it's still part of the open active part of it. So we were, trying to make sure that we're going to get everybody and prevent, anybody from trying to ambush us while we're outside.
Regarding the recent issued curfew and the measures taken by the city of Orlando for the sale of alcohol as well, is this a temporary measure or is it indefinite?
I believe it's temporary. I believe the mayor said it was going to end maybe Friday. I believe that's when the curfew, that order that emergency order is going to end.
One final question.
Is there any sense that any of the victims knew the shooter?
Still part of our open active investigation, so we're still tracking down all the leads. That's why if you have information, call, let us know, and so we can try to piece more of this together.
State Attorney, this got national attention.
Yeah.
What can you say to people that are watching from out of town that might have concerns about security here in Orlando?
I think that the city of Orlando, the Orlando Police Department have done a great job in putting measures in place to make sure that we're going to remain safe. And my office is going to be here to make sure that people will be held accountable when things do happen. And so we're still the tourist capital of the world, and that's not going to change under my watch. All right, everybody have a great day.